Summer has officially come and gone, and the real estate market here in Coastal Delaware is starting to look vastly different than it did at the start of the year and for most of the year. So I just want to bring you guys up to speed about what we're seeing in the market and how that may impact you both on the buyer side and the seller side. Before we dive into the content, my name is Matt Lunden. I'm a local real estate agent here in Coastal Delaware, and we put out content each and every week discussing all things Coastal Delaware, the real estate market here, and what it's like to live here. If that's something that you would like to see some more of, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And then if you or someone you know is looking to buy or sell real estate here in Coastal Delaware, that's what we help you with every single day, and we absolutely love hearing from you guys here on the channel. So all my information will be down below in the description and right here on the screen. If we can help in absolutely any way, don't hesitate to reach out. Now let's dive back into the content. Perhaps one of the hottest talking points for really the entire year has been interest rates. Are they going up? Are they coming down? What are they going to do? And it seems like they've kind of settled in right now, right between the 7 and 7.5% mark, just depending on the day and what's going on with, some different indicators and different things with inflation and everything else. But it looks like we've settled kind of in that 7 to 7.5% range for right now, which has caused an affordability concern for many. Obviously it's not the 3% rates we had about a year and a half ago or so. And it's definitely made things more expensive. It's no secret. Everybody knows it. And it's definitely taken a toll on a lot of buyers because they can now no longer afford the same thing. Where do we think that interest rates are going to go from here? It really depends on who you listen to. We do have a number of talking heads in the media that do the research on these things. They're starting to kind of change their tune a little bit. For a while, they were saying Q2 2024, we'll see them in the 6s and maybe in the high 5s. However, it seems like some of those are starting to, like I said, change their tune. And now some of the people in the media are starting to say that we will see interest rates continue to increase through 2024, which is definitely going to be an interesting sort of situation because if they continue to go up and prices remain elevated, obviously that's going to take a lot more buyers out of the market because they'll no longer be able to afford a home in the area that they're looking for. So it could cause, buyers to look in different areas, buyers to look at different price points, and it could impact the seller side because it could draw some of those prices down a little bit depending on where they get to. If they do get up in the 8, 9, 10% range, it's likely that home prices will come down at that point. So it'll be interesting to see how the Federal Reserve rate and everything else with inflation kind of plays out over the coming months. Perhaps the second biggest issue behind interest rates being elevated is inventory. Right now, there are not a lot of homes in the market. As of the recording of this video, in the entire state of Delaware, there's only 2,350 homes in the market. That is not 2,350 great homes in the market. Some of those are tear downs, some of those are barely habitable. The reality is that with only 2,000 or so homes on the market, there's not a lot to choose from. While half of those are here in Coastal Delaware, about 1,100 of them are right here in Coastal Delaware, it still doesn't mean it's 1,100 good options to look at. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of those that are tear downs or that need complete renovations. So the reality is that we're really looking at probably 800 or so homes here in Coastal Delaware, which at varying price points and everything else, that doesn't give the buyers that are out there looking a whole lot of options. I will say that with low inventory and the elevated interest rates, the 400,000 and below price point has become a very popular price point, and anything in that price range that is in decent condition is selling very quickly. There is just not a whole lot that's out there, and there's not a whole lot that's good out there. So with the interest rates getting to where they're at, like I said, that 400,000 and below price point has become a hotbed for offers and for buyers looking because they may have been looking at, the $600,000 price point before. And now that the interest rates have gone up, they are reduced to what they can actually afford. And that $400,000 and less price point has become the, trigger point for a lot of people where as soon as something comes in the market, if you're not getting in there the day of or the next day, you're likely missing that opportunity just because there are so many buyers out there that can afford that price point. And there's so many eyes on those homes as they come on the market. I will say that inventory has increased a little bit over the last 2 weeks, both here locally and on a national scale, but it's going to be a while before it actually gets better. They're not building as many or as quickly of new construction homes as they did during the '08 crash timeframe. So it's going to be a little while before we're starting to see a normal level of inventory unless sellers start to list their homes more. But with the elevated interest rates, a lot lot of them are not able to list those homes because they can't afford something in the same area at this point, because they likely have a high 2 or low 3% rate. And if they were to go look at the exact same home in the exact same neighborhood with the amount of appreciation and the interest rates now, they likely can't afford the monthly payments on that new home. So many sellers or would-be sellers are still staying put, or they're keeping the home, renting it out, and they're just going to look at, some other options as to where they could purchase and live in something new while retaining the old home. Just because their interest rate was so low, it almost makes sense just to rent it out and keep it and become a landlord, just because they can now afford to, if they have enough capital to go buy a new home without selling the old one. It makes a little bit of an inventory crisis kind of to really consider, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. So hopefully, if you are looking, you have a little bit of flexibility as to what you're looking for, and you're not looking for one home in one neighborhood, because the likelihood of finding it right now is pretty slim. Not to say that we haven't found that for our clients, but it is definitely a lot tougher if you are looking for one exact specific, maybe a floor plan or a certain layout with a certain amount of land. It's just a difficult thing to find exact specifics right now. So buyers are needing to be a little bit more flexible. One thing that we are starting to see with homes that are on the market is that they're starting to sit for a little bit longer. It's not, hey, this home went up today, it's sold 6 hours later. They are starting to sit for a little bit more of a normal time. And as the market continues to normalize, that's just going to be what we're going to see. Right now, homes are sitting for about 30 to 45 days on the market. So if you're a seller that's either getting ready to list your home, or maybe your home just went on the market, the likelihood that it sells in the first weekend, unless you're well below market value, is not very high. So you can expect it to take a little bit more time to sell that home. So if you have somewhere that you need to be at by a deadline, there's some different strategies that we can use to get that home sold a little bit faster, but just know that it's likely going to sit for about 30 to 45 days before you get an offer. It's just the nature of the market right now. We have less buyers looking because of where the affordability has gotten to, and that has just caused homes to sit a little bit longer. It's not the end of the world. We're just getting back to a normal market. I know we've been spoiled over the last 2.5, 3 years, where, like I said, you could list a home and 3 hours later you've got 50 offers and they're $100,000 over asking price and everything else. It's just simply not the case right now. We are still seeing homes that are in certain price points. Like I mentioned, that $400,000 and below price point before. We're starting to see some of those still move quickly, but the vast majority of homes are going to sit a little bit longer unless it checks every box of what buyers are looking for. And, there are a little bit more selective right now in the home purchasing process, and many buyers are not wanting to buy something that requires work. They're likely wanting to buy something that's already done, already ready to go, because they don't want to put the work in. Their thought is that I'm paying so much because the interest rates and the purchase prices have gotten so high that I don't want to come in here and have to put $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 into one of these homes with renovating it, making it right, and everything else. They just move on to the next one, or they continue looking until they find something that is all fixed up and ready to go and exactly what they want. One thing to consider right now, if you are a buyer in today's market, is that buyers are getting fantastic terms. I've gotten 3 buyers under contract over the last week, and all 3 of them are well below list price, and they're still including inspections and a number of other contingencies to protect the buyer. So if you're a buyer in the market right now, could be your best chance to get the best terms. Yes, interest rates may come down later. Yes, depending on what happens with interest rates, purchase prices could come down, maybe 5 or 10%. But at the end of the day, if they do come down, interest rates or purchase prices come down a little bit, you're going to have a lot more buyers come back into the market. You're going to have a lot more competition, and then we're going to be back in those 2021 and early 2022 market conditions where, again, you had to offer a whole bunch of money over asking price. You had to give away your firstborn child and everything else to get the house. So just know that right now buyers are getting fantastic terms. We have been incredible at getting our buyers the best terms possible with lower purchase prices and getting more contingencies included, just by, being more strategic about the way we're going through things and making sure that we are putting our best foot forward to make sure that our client is in the driver's seat and not the seller in, the buying and selling situation. We want our buyer to have the best deal possible. And if we have the seller, again, we still want to get them the best deal possible and get them top dollar. And we've been employing a number of different tactics to do so, just to get a little bit more out of it for our clients in this kind of weird time in the market where we are seeing homes sit for a little bit longer. We're seeing elevated interest rates. We're seeing elevated purchase prices, but our clients are still getting great terms. So if you are a buyer in the market right right now, it is likely your last opportunity to get some of those fantastic terms, because if interest rates do come back down or if purchase prices come down, we are likely to see a whole lot more buyer activity in the market, and that means more competition and some terms that are going to be not so great for you. That is a little bit about what we are seeing here in the market in coastal Delaware, and a little bit about, where we're seeing things headed. If you took some value away from today's video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below. And then if you are someone that's looking to buy or sell real estate here in coastal Delaware, we would love to be your real estate resource of choice here in coastal Delaware. So if you have absolutely any questions at all my contact information, once again, it'll be down below in the description and right here on the screen. We can help in absolutely any way. Please don't hesitate to reach out. We love hearing from you guys here on the channel, and we hope to see you again next week. Peace.